Hi, this is Derrik Jordan. Welcome to the World Fusion Show, where we bring you the leading innovators in world fusion music. Today, my guest is Stephen Katz, composer, cellist, guitar player, and singer and visionary musician. Stephen, welcome to the World Fusion Show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. How are you feeling today?
Great.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
So glad you could make it today and join us. So tell me, where'd you grow up? How'd you get started?
Grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and always heard music in the house on the record player. It was classical music. My parents loved it. They fell in love playing classical music.
They were playing, what did they play?
My dad played the piano and my mom played the violin.
Okay. So
it was great for them when their kids started to play instruments and I was interested in the cello.
Right.
I just kind of folded into the family chamber music scene.
Right.
While I was listening to pop music on my transistor radio.
Did they know that? Were they aware?
I guess so. But I don't think they cared so much as long as I was playing the cello and taking lessons. And then until when I was 13, I got a guitar with my birthday money. And I think that may have confused my parents a little bit, like, well, he seems to like the guitar more than the cello. But I kept playing both.
Right.
But with the guitar, I immediately felt that I could do whatever I wanted to do.
Right.
With the cello, it was, well, somebody's telling me what to play, and the sheet music tells me what to play.
Sure.
And I stuck with it, with both.
Do you think the reason why you felt that freedom on the guitar was because of the pop music scene that was happening when you were growing up?
I would say that it was all one thing, and that the cello wasn't part of the pop music scene.
Not yet.
Although I have to say that as far as improvising, which I did right away with the guitar, naturally, but I was already improvising with the cello when I was in the living room practicing, I'm 12 years old or something, practicing before dinner, and my mom, making dinner, would say, well, is that all you have to practice? What about your etudes, your exercises? And I'd go, oh yeah, and I would play some little simple thing, and it was fine, but I thought I can play something like this if I just make it up. So also, if I just played around, like this sounds like a little exercise, then my mom didn't really know that it wasn't printed on the page, but I was exercising, right?
Moving your fingers.
So that was the beginning of improvising. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now you started with classical, but you really are, I think, really a tremendous improviser. And that's a bit unusual. And one of the things that you've developed is this thing you call flying pizzicato.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I loved strumming the guitar and strumming in what I came to call counterpoint strumming, because it was sort of bottom strings, top strings often. Whatever my hand could do to break the chords and break the harmonies into parts that I could make into rhythmic interplay. So, while I'm strumming a bass note or part of the strings in a rhythm that felt interesting and was a groove, that left only certain strokes that were available to play the high stuff.
Right.
So that created a kind of either or, and I was interested right away in the relationship between the either and the or.
Right, the counterpoint.
The counterpoint. And so I loved that, and I love that in music, in any kind of music. I would always be drawn to what's going on between the voices in terms of the way they're talking to one another, and not so much melodically, but rhythmically, and the way they moved across time, right?
Right.
So when it came to the cello, for two fewer strings,
right.
Great. I like the limitations of that. And then I could strum individually on the notes. And I used to call it individual note strumming because that's what it is. but it was also counterpoint strumming on the cello. And then I just began to develop pieces and grooves and exercises at the point when I kind of figured that out. That was about mid-90s.
Right. Cool. Well, I think what we should do now is go to the video clip that shows some of your flying pizzicato in a piece that you wrote called Exodus. Oh yeah, I love that. That's so great. And there, you have a shaker also in your hand, although can't really see it.
Right.
It's there. That's the sound we're hearing. Now, I understand that you actually did study at Conservatory, University of Cincinnati. And you said while you were there, you also got to work with an African musician on percussion. And that really opened you up a lot, rhythmically. You know, I had the same good fortune in my own journey in college. But tell me about what that meant to you and how that changed your music.
It was actually the University of Illinois where I went to undergraduate in Urbana, Illinois. That, going to all these classes, history and theory and counterpoint and such, pedagogy classes, right in one of those classrooms, cinder block classroom in the basement, a whole array of drums brought from Ghana by a guy who was teaching us. And he had grown up in this tradition.
Was it the Ewe drums? The Ewe family?
I think it was, but I don't remember much about the particular drums, except that he gave us each parts, and we went and bells, and I just lived for that class all semester. And I remember playing a bell pattern at one point and knowing something about how to relate what I was playing to time and to the other players in a way that was beyond anything I'd experienced in playing the other music that I was learning in the conservatory. It was mind-blowing in the best possible way. And it sort of sealed my relationship to being a maker of the sound, not just thinking, not just composing, not just and it was about music. It wasn't really that it was this kind of music. It was music is this amazing thing to behold and to make.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I know it was such an important part of my own education working with Milford Graves, master drummer, and learning to play congas. I mean, I already played violin, cello, guitar, piano. I was writing songs every day. I didn't need another instrument or thing except that it changed my life and my understanding of music and polyrhythm, polymeter, expression. I just was a tremendous gift, really, for me and all that. Now, you're also a singer, and you've wrote songs with the guitar, and even do stuff with cello. I'd like to go to the next clip, which has you playing a very famous song. I won't spoil it, but you're playing the cello, but you're singing. I think people will recognize this song right away. Let's do that now.
I could while away the hours, comforted with the flowers, consoling with the rain, and my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts would be hatching if I only had a rain. I'd unravel every riddle for any hill, trouble or in pain. With the thoughts I'd be thinking I could be another Lincoln if I only had a brain. Oh, I could turn the oceans near the shore. I could think of things I've never thought before, and then I'd sit and think some more.
Yeah. Oh, great song. I love that musical. It's a big part of my childhood. You used to play in coffee houses at a certain time a lot with your guitar, but you've also had a very strong relationship with dance and playing with dancers, doing your own physical movement dance. Tell me about what dance means to you in your music.
Funny that as a kid and even as a young, early 20s, I would never dance in public. I don't think I danced at all. Maybe at camp, when everybody's holding hands. But there was a sort of self-consciousness about movement. But as soon as I got into a college situation and was near the dance classes in at the University of Illinois, I met dancers who were interested in having me play music with them. In fact, the first thing I ever did with dancers and with dance was a contact improvisation class, which I have continued to make music for to this day. I probably play more gigs for improvisational dance than for anything else these days. And Northampton, Mass, where I am located, is a prime area for that.
Well, you mentioned Contact. I went to Bennington College.
Oh, yeah.
That's where Contact basically started.
Right.
And I knew the people who were the originators of Contact and used to watch them and was fascinated by, and I thought it was brilliant, a brilliant form. It's so interesting that you were doing that.
And as a musician, it totally made sense because for me, the act of making the sounds is a physical act ultimately, and it's a small dance, it's a teeny dance, but it's so focused on a specific set of things, and it is everything to do with the impulses coming through the body, through the hands, into the bow, into the strings, and out the cello, into the air, into your eardrum, into your skin. So it's a kinetic experience for me. And even as I studied in the conservatory stuff and playing Bach, especially when you have a command of the whole piece, I remember really focusing on the up and the down, the momentum of the piece as it unfolded, and that's how I found my interpretive way. How should this piece sound?
Right.
It was always a kinetic thing. It was like the piece was dancing.
Right.
How to make that sound.
That's great. So I want to go to the next clip, but is a piece that you wrote called Calm and Cool. It's an excerpt you're doing with a string orchestra in Germany. Want to tell how that came together?
I have been associated with the New Directions Cello Association and their festival, annual festival, since it started 23 years ago. And I was at a festival a number of years ago when there was a guy there named Gunther Tiedemann. He was a guest artist. So we got to know each other, played together, and he invited me there to where he lives in Cologne, Germany. In 2005. So I went there and he arranged a bunch of concerts and workshops, master classes for me to give. And this one that that you'll see is with an orchestra that he directs.
Okay. Let's go to the clip now and watch this. Yeah, very nice. Nice sound with all the strings together there. Beautifully done. So you're still doing, working with dance a lot, doing dance jams. I know you sometimes play with a looper when you do those jams, and that's like a regular part of your week, right? I mean, what you do, which is awesome. Also, can you tell me about what's up next for you and what you're looking forward to and what you're doing now?
Really, a surprising transformation for me is that I'm playing through playing with a woman who plays Native American flutes. Her name is Nina Umai Spiro. She lives in East Hampton, Mass, and she does shamanic journeying level playing and workshops and guided events. And I've been playing with her, and she's been guiding me to find her, what she's up to. So I have been playing, when I play with her, I do not pluck the strings. I do not have a pulse in my playing.
Okay.
I don't play drones particularly, like under what she's doing. She's playing pentatonic flutes mostly.
Right.
Just the barest thing, and it is so powerful for me because I'm learning to do so much more music with so much less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's always great to have these new challenges and people to work with. So, Stephen, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been just great to have you. We're going to now get to the part of the show at the end where we do some live in the studio playing together, which I'm really looking forward to. All right. So this is Derrik Jordan. Thank you so much for joining us today on the World Fusion Show and being part of the music. Remember, think globally, listen locally, and support independent music.
Thank